Hi YouTube and happy Wednesday. In tonight's video I'd like to talk a little bit further about OWBasic, but not on the Casio Pocket Viewer itself. I'd like to go through some of the documentation from Audacia software before I get into some more examples of OWBasic and use of that. I edit OWBasic IDE, where you can edit an OWBasic program on the Pocket Viewer and run it within the IDE, as opposed to flipping back and forth between the Memo app and the OWBasic compiler interpreter. I downloaded on my Linux PC here the OWBasic HTML documents. They're from Audacia software.de. That website's now been the website's still there, but the OWBasic documents have been taken down. So I'm going to go ahead and just locally look at these examples. You can see there's quite a few documents here, and I'll pull up, as my cat watches from behind me, the introduction page. I realize it isn't super organized well. You can see it has nice color scheme. My dad was always really fond of this combination of blue and yellow. Let me see if I can zoom in or zoom out or something just so you can see that. Well, actually, I don't need to. So the headings here are the same as the one obscured by my image. You can see just brief description of OWBasic. Just from looking at this documentation, it looks like a much more powerful language than I had anticipated. It's also a newer language than I thought. The most recent version was released in 2012. I'll go ahead and pull up Audacia software, OWBasic, programming. Okay, I think it was ported to ClassPad. Oh, that's funny. Um, okay, so I said that they did have the documentation, but it just wasn't linked correctly to the Audacia software page. That's sort of embarrassing on my part. Yeah, so what I was saying is that OWBasic 5.25, which I have in my Pocket Viewer, was released August 7th, 2012. Now, if you remember from my prior videos, the Casio Pocket Viewer was released in the late 1990s, early 2000s. Let me just confirm. Yeah, 1999. This S400 Plus is from 2002. So even 10 years later, at which point I think these Pocket Viewers really were obsolete, there was still development of OWBasic, which you could use, to write your own programs executable on the Pocket Viewer. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go back. Uh, let's see here. I think this website's also down, but fortunately archived through the Internet Archive. There's library, different OWBasic programs here. They're quite powerful. That is really cool. I'll have to try that out. PVCom client. Might try at some point. Okay, so I'll see if I can get back to the documentation. As I mentioned previously, it was originally developed by Wolfgang Wolfgang Ortmann. I think it was. I think this link was just mistyped. I think it's E. Yeah, see, it's E intro. I'll copy this link into the chat. You can write basic programs yourself, run programs developed by others, know what's new in this version and what the options mean. Calling, manage program settings, find runtime errors, precompiled program and saved it to the share file. I don't know too much about the compilation. As it shows here, programming in the programming in BASIC page, the program text have to be written as memo files. If you use the standard settings, category 5 is used. To change the category, you go to options in the start menu. As I showed in the prior video, the first line of the program has to start with an exclamation point and a space. That's the title of the program. When starting OWBasic, the available programs are shown and selected program is started. Compilation takes place and the produced intermediate code is interpreted. That's interesting. So it's both a compiler and an interpreter. I wonder if this is sort of analogous to Visual Basic. Well, think on a completely different topic, I think Visual Basic's event-driven. It's also possible to define a program menu with the selected number of programs from arbitrary categories. Okay, that's interesting. It's possible to write programs on PC and send code directly to OWBasic on the PV and remote control mode. Let's take a look at a couple of those pages. User-defined menu with programs. File menu shows menus in the selected program category. Includes have to be in the same category in the include category. Option menu allows you to configure the program menu. Each program menu has 8 places. Okay, I'll have to try that out in a future demo. To start with the file menu or the... Okay, nice. This I didn't quite follow. There's a remote control mode in the options menu, and you can use OWB remote control on a PC. It sounds like there's a Linux version of this that will send over programs that you've edited and debugged on the PC. This context editor has a syntax file that'll highlight keywords, procedures, and functions. I wonder if I could create, a similar syntax file for something like Notepad++ and maybe share that on GitHub. Look, I have another GitHub commit. Okay, so you can use this in the command line, OWBRC, program name, and then a particular COM port. It sends all required parts of your program to the Pocket Viewer, and OWBasic compiles it. In case of success, the program started. Error messages are reported on PC by OWBRC. Okay, formatting. It's formatted freely. If more than one statement is written on a line, the individual statements have to be separated with a semi. That looks like a colon to me. Comments start with the keyword rem or exclamation point and go up to the line end. Start with that. Okay, interesting. Labels can be set so you don't necessarily need line numbers. That's great. So it's a structured basic language. Let's see here. I just want to briefly show the alphabetical index and then and just show some examples of the different functions you can call. There's various numerical functions. There are arrays supported. There's battery status, which is picked up. That's pretty cool. Storing bitmaps, bit and byte access. That's low level and pretty cool. Drawing boxes, control a loop control. It sounds like good language to write a cardiac paper computer emulator as a test to show I understand it well. Input calculator, clear erase. You can see a lot of numeric and graphical functions here. Error handling. I'll pull up example basic programs in a second. Cases, a case function with different alternatives. Timer, file buffer handling in binary. Read-write strings to file buffer text. Read and write dates and times in file buffer. records and more file handling, more numeric functions, flash memory management. That's kind of cool. I'll just briefly see those examples. Okay, so that's a menu. Haha. Access to memos. I might, do something like have cardiac computer programs in memo files and then access and execute those. Okay, buttons and forms, display forms, radio buttons. That's definitely Visual Basic like. Function and procedure pointers. Let's see if there's anything else interesting here. Go to graphics procedures. Inputs, increment and decrement. Pretty full-featured programming language. Drawing a keyboard, waiting for keyboard. Input, waiting on input. Backlight control, that's pretty cool. Action wheel. Loading arrays to files and reading memos. Local variables. Minimum and maximum modes. I wonder what that. I'll have to take a look at that. I'll just close out with. Okay, so that's what modes are. Close out with some examples that are listed here. I like how thorough this is. There's bitwise functions. This is really cool. Look at this. You can read bytes from memory. This is truly a full-featured language that even has direct memory access and ability to write machine code and x86 machine code at that. Polygon, power. Let's see what power. Search for substring and string. The power function. Okay. Randomize, random number generators. That is so cool. Saving files, setting bits, arrays, shared files, shifting numbers. I could, have a binary clock or something. All sorts of things I could do with this. You could do with this. Touchscreen handling. That is so cool. Imagine all that could be written up in this language. Okay, so I'll just wrap up here with some example basic programs. Let's just take a look at one of them. This is an example for access to a file with file pointers. Input which category, pull up category, set file pointer for first search. You can see how this is a structured language, and it is like BASIC, but I like that you don't have line numbers and absolute addressing there. Get pointer to next record, no further records, read memo to file buffer based on that import category variable, read first 21 characters. If the file number 13 file that character I guess is 13, so it's asking if it's end of line. Go to next. Print character, new line. Interesting. In this example, all memos in one category are read and the title line is printed. Go to loop. Okay, very cool. I'll have to try this. I might try this program out actually on the Pocket Viewer itself. Okay, so with that, I'll go back to the introduction, and with that, I appreciate your attention. I hope this video was informative and enjoyable and interesting and useful to you as well. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, or questions, leave them in the comments down below. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe as always. Thanks so much for watching and have a great one.